Hey there, Madison, Mark Gladue, and today I want to talk to you about the market and what's been happening because you've heard all sorts of crazy stories, I'm sure, social media, the news, your friends, your family, anybody out there. But what I want to do is focus on between what's happened February 1st up until now, because in November, December, and January, we saw kind of a lull in the buyer's market. And so the market wasn't quite as competitive and we didn't see as many competing offers or such crazy prices, right? And then February hit, interest rates started to rise, inflation started to happen. So here's what we're seeing. I've broken it down into three different categories. One is to go from zero up to $350,000 in just Madison, and then $350,000 up to $700,000, and then from $700,000 up to $1 million. And can you guess what happens? So up to $350,000, since February 1, there have been 48 sales. 41 of those, 41 have been competing offers, and the average percentage above the list price is actually almost 9% above list price. So that means someone's listing it at a certain price, and on average, we're seeing 9% above that list price. Then you jump over to the $350,000 to $700,000. There were 58 that were listed, and 30 of those actually sold in a competitive offer situation. And the percentage dives down just a little bit. It's about 6.5% above the list price on average. Now, we've seen as high as 21.2% above the list price and as low as just 1% above the list price. Then when you go to above $1 million, as you might expect in Madison, there were only 2 that were listed. Now, what's interesting about that is one of them sold in a competitive offer situation, and it went for almost 13% above the list price. So how is this useful for sellers and for buyers? Well, for sellers, what we know right now is that it's now looking like 10% might be the average above what you think you might already get. So if you're looking at Zillow or if you're looking at another home valuation site, make sure you're talking to your agent so that you can understand exactly what your home is worth in this market. Because in hot areas and in places that people want to be, the average, again, is going to be 10% above list price, if not even more. For buyers, what it means is you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared to make clean offers. And by clean offers, I mean as few contingencies as possible. You need to be able to work with an agent that knows and understands a competitive market like this. And you need to be prepared with what's your down payment? What's your pre-approval look like? What are you willing to spend? Because interest rates will continue to rise, and we think they might go up to something as high as 5%. That's still fairly low compared to what your parents might have told you when it was back in the day and they had to pay, no lower than 8%. I hope all of this information helps you. I know that it's data-driven, boring-based, and all those fun things, but I think it is pretty interesting for Madison to understand what's going on in the local market. So, any questions, call, DM, do what you like. Glad you stopped by. Thanks, everybody.